Why, hello there, welcome to Simulated Heaven. I got a message the other day asking for advice about how to increase your safety rating and get out of the rookie class in iRacing. So I thought I'd just do a very quick video just to talk about that. I would say first of all though, I'm not an absolute expert at iRacing. I've played many hours, but there's a really good forum if you're a member in iRacing. There's a really good forum over here. Pretty much you can ask so many different questions, you can get a lot of advice, you can get setups for cars. You don't really need a setup for the rookie series though, because they are all fixed. But yeah, that's the first thing I would say. Now, the other thing I would say, and I've said this in other iRacing videos, practice, 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 and then more practice. This game, it takes a lot of commitment. This is why I've talked about it's like an MMO for people who like racing games, because you can't expect in this game that you'll just practice for 20 minutes or even an hour and then go straight into a race and do really well. So that will be the first thing I would say. For every race that you run, you need to make sure that you've practiced enough that you're really comfortable in the car, that you can handle the car on that track, that you can do a good lap time, a reasonable lap time, without always crashing out. You can always in practice do like a simulated race, and you can actually see, try to do 15 laps without spinning or crashing or having any incidents. It's also a good idea to go into a practice which has a lot of people, so you can practice being around other cars, practice being around faster guys than you, slower guys than you, overtaking the slower guys without incident, letting faster guys go past you without incident. That's another great thing, because the whole thing that is a safety rating killer is like when you crash into other cars, when you go off of the track, when you do those kind of things, your safety rating will go down. If you're having clean races, then pretty much your safety rating will be going up. So yeah, that's the very basic advice. Practice a lot, make sure you're comfortable in the car, make sure you've been practicing around a lot of other drivers, that you know that you're very comfortable in the car. If you're in a practice and there's loads of other guys in the practice, you want to be at least kind of a third of the way up the practice times. You don't want to be so slow that people are lapping you very quickly, or they're so much faster than you. I've seen that there are some people that enter a race and they think they can just dawdle around at the back and pick up SR, and that's fine. But personally, I don't think that's such a great idea, because you'll have faster guys, you'll end up kind of getting in their way. I think you need to be feeling very comfortable in the car, and at least not the slowest guy, but you're at least reasonably on pace. So that would be what I would say. The series, I'm going to kind of concentrate on the road series mostly, because that is what I've done more. And I think a lot of the advice that I am talking about here would also work in the ovals as well. So if we go to current seasons, and hopefully it will come up here, hopefully. So here you can see the rookie series. So these are the series that you have, but unfortunately these three at the bottom say rookie 3.0. So you can only do these first three here. Here, when you first start the game, you can do the Cadillac, the MX-5 Cup or the Mazda Cup, and there's an iRacing Street Stock series here as well, which I believe that's obviously oval. So if you're starting oval, you need to do the Street Stock. They've actually recently changed that, because it used to be the Legends, but they've now had the Street Stock as the very, very first car. Then when you get to 3.0 on the rookie license, then you can go to an advanced Legends series, and then with the road, when you get to 3.0, you can get out of the Cadillacs and the MX-5s and move to iRacing Challenge. I would say as soon as you get to a high enough rating where you don't have to race the very, very basic rookie races, I would say it's advisable that you don't do them again that much, because this is where you're most likely to run into completely new players or players that are not very good that can't really race. So you're more likely to get involved in incidents here. The only time when that is not the case is if there's a lot of people registered for a race. When you get many people registered for a race and then they split the race up, what they'll do is they will split the race up by the iRating. I think there's a few other factors, but it's mostly, I think, on iRating. So that means if you had a higher skill level than some other people registered for the race, you would end up with people of a similar skill level. But I would say that that would be when there's about 40 or 50 or above people registered for a race. That is when it would be a safe time for you to do those kind of races. If it's a quiet time and there's only going to be 1 or 2 races, you're more than likely to end up in a split that is, has someone in it who doesn't know what they are doing. I would also advise that you qualify. Always qualify. So then, because a lot of people do not qualify, even if your qualifying speed is not that fast, you'll end up near the front of the field. That means on the first lap you will not be caught up, or you're less likely to be caught up in some of the craziness that can happen on the first corner or first half a lap or so, when you are stuck near the back with all the people that don't really know what they're doing. So yeah, I would say that qualifying is also important. The other thing is, don't be too crazy on the first lap. I see so many guys in iRacing, they do the first lap and they're just straight away trying to go as fast as they can on the first lap, trying to overtake everyone super fast. It's like, no. First lap is when you basically settle into a position and then basically wait until you see if the guy in front of you is fast or slow. And if the guy behind you is one of these super aggressive guys that looks like he's gonna, try to overtake you like in any way he can, just let the guy go past, because usually those guys will then crash out, they'll have incidents, and you'll end up ahead of them anyway. But then of course after the first, say, lap or so, you kind of get a feeling for how fast you are in relation. And of course, if you are faster than guys ahead of you, then you will catch them and you will overtake them. Sounds really simple, but a lot of people on the first lap just go crazy. And it's like, no, calm down. Just give yourself, like, even the rookie races are a good amount of time. I think they're about 25 minutes. Something like that. It's a good amount of time. You have got plenty of time in that race to claw your way up. And I would say that being consistent in those races helps you so much. I did so many of those kind of rookie races where I started not that far up the grid, but because I was the guy that was really consistent, I would usually finish quite high. And it will help your iRating the higher up that you finished. This is another thing that these people don't realize when they just cruise around at the back really slowly. They don't realize that if they're not actually finishing above other people, their iRating is not going to get any help. But there are some people that don't care about iRating because it's the safety rating that really affects your license, which then affects what kind of cars you can drive. So yeah, that would be my kind of basic kind of tips really. I would say do not try and race the Cadillac. I don't know why the Cadillac is a rookie car. It's really hard to handle. I mean, it is a really fun car to drive when you learn how to drive. But for a rookie in this game, I would not recommend that you do the Cadillac. I would stick to the MX-5. The MX-5 is a great first vehicle, handles really well, and you usually find that you can have a lot of fun racing in the MX-5, as opposed to with the Cadillacs. You'll probably end up getting frustrated with loads of people trying to do races when they're not really race ready and just crashing into you and doing loads of crazy stuff. That would be my basic kind of overview of what I would say to get your SR up. And like I said before, when you get your SR to Rookie 3.0, I would do the in-racing challenge, because then you will start to move away from the people that are completely brand new to the game. When you're in the very basic rookie races, there's a possibility you could be in a race with a guy that's just started that game, like started iRacing only today, and they think, oh, they've only practiced for half an hour, and oh, there's a race, let's just go in the race and do it now. And you really don't want to be in with those guys. So, and actually the in-racing news challenge is really fun. I actually still run that because I really like the Spec Racer Ford, so from time to time I will still run those races, and they're really fun. One other really great things with the rookie races is they will basically have a very limited number of tracks. So if we go to the MX-5 Mazda Cup, and if we go to the schedule, you will see here that, look, it only uses 4 tracks. Now this is great because it means if you just keep racing these 4 tracks, so you keep on this MX-5 Cup, you will obviously get better, you will get more familiar with these tracks, and it will be easier for you to do well and level up. Like, that's why they only keep a limited amount of tracks in here, so it helps you to learn it fast and start to level up. If you get your iRating, if you get your safety rating to 4.0, I believe you get an instant upgrade to the next level. You need to be careful that you do have 4 races, at least 4 races at your level. So if you're a rookie, then for you to actually get promoted as well, the other thing is that you have to have done 4 races or 4 time trials at the rookie level. I'm a class C, so if I want to level up, if I want to get a higher class, I will have to do 4 races at class C, and I'll have to finish the season with an SR higher than 3.0, or I go over 4.0 and I get it instantaneously. So yeah, that would be something for you to consider. On a bit of a side note, you do actually get some kind of credits for race participation. It only starts though at class D, but this would be a good motivation for you to start trying to level up into higher classes. If you do 8 races in a series in class D or above, you earn credits, which is basically money that you can use in the game, and then that will help you to finance buying cars and tracks, because obviously with all the rookie classes, everything here is free content, but as soon as you go into class D, you will have to then start to consider the fact that you might have to start purchasing content. So I would, if you're on a bit of a budget, I would try to work out by talking to other people or by going on forums what series you would like to run when you become class D. For example, if you decide to do the Grand Touring Cup, now I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe they made it so you don't have to have every vehicle in this race in order to run it. It's got the Pontiac Slowstis, MX-5 and the Jetta. I think you only have to own the car that you want to drive. I could be wrong, they did recently change that a few months ago. So what you would do is you go to the schedule and you'd think, okay, which of these tracks here, because as you can see, as soon as you get to Class D, you start to get into a much wider variety of tracks. So you'd have to go down this list and think, okay, which tracks do I not own? Now, of course, you don't have to run every week. If you're on a budget, you can think, okay, well, I have these 3 tracks, but if I buy this track, and this car, that's enough for me to run the series. And then if you can actually buy enough content so you can run 8 of the races out of the 12, you will get some kind of a credit, which if you're on a budget will help you to then buy more content to then do other series or higher classes as well. So that's another thing you should bear in mind. I know it's a bit of a side note, but I do find that's quite important. Now, in terms of using time trials to level up, I would say that I wouldn't really recommend using them exclusively or using them a lot. I would just use a time trial just to top up the safety rating. If you're very, very close to a promotion and it's right near the end of the season, it's on week 11 or 12 or something, and it's just before the end and you just need to top up your safety rating to get a promotion, then yeah, I would say a time trial is fine. All that you have to do is run, I don't know, 5 or 6 laps. I think you can run up to 20 minutes, something like that. And you will actually get positive SR for you actually running one of those really cleanly. You don't get a lot of SR though. You actually get more SR from doing a race if you do it relatively cleanly, but a lot of people like to go for time trials because they don't have to worry about other people crashing into them. I find them kind of boring, and like I said, I would say that it's just only for topping up. It's not really for the main part of your safety rating. That would be what I would say. Yeah, so I think I've basically talked about pretty much the main idea here with how you should level up. If there's anything that I've not really talked about, if there's any specific questions you would like to ask me about, of course you can ask me in the comment section below, or you can send me a personal message. I would say that the rookie part of your iRacing career, you need to really look at it as being a lot of fun. A lot of people grind it out, and like I said, they do loads of races from the back of the grid, just coasting around to get SR. I mean, that's not really a lot of fun. I think you can have a lot of fun actually racing with people. You just need to be careful that you give, if you see a guy on the track who looks really dodgy, who's all over the place, just give him a lot of room and let him do his thing, and just overtake him and give him lots of room and all this. Just be, really cautious, but still have fun, still do lots of practice and do the races, but just, just try to keep an eye out for those kind of guys, because in the rookie there is quite a lot of them. The good thing with the rookie races, I believe they have them every hour. The MX-5 Cup, I believe, is every hour, so that's really good because it gives you a lot of opportunities to do the races in order to level up. One other thing I would say, I don't recommend you trying to bolster your SR. Like, I've seen people with Class A road licenses who really are not able to handle their cars, and they're not able to race at a fast enough speed and all this kind of thing. As you can see right now, I'm a Class C. I'm quite a high Class C. I'm kind of almost Class B again. But I actually let my safety rating float around in a natural way, because I don't see the point in doing races where I'm super careful at the back of the grid, so I get SR, so I get promoted, and I get promoted into a series in Class B, for example, that I'm not yet really good enough to race. I don't see the point in that. I see the whole idea of leveling up is you also gaining a experience of races, and if you are kind of in the process of racing, crashing out a lot, or going off of the track a lot, then that means you are not yet ready to progress out of that. So that will be another thing that I would say on this whole kind of topic of safety rating, that you should certainly not try to bolster it unnaturally, that you just kind of let it float. When you get out of the rookie, just kind of let it float and see where it goes. Okay guys, I think I did talk a bit too much. Wow, a 20-minute video just talking about this. I thought it was going to be like 5 or 10 minutes. Whoops, I like to talk a lot, clearly. Thanks for watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.